So your condition's gotten worse, and now you're thinking, maybe I ought to file for that ratings increase so that I can get some more compensation, properly compensated, properly rated for your condition. Let's talk about the process and some hiccups. Hey everybody, welcome back to Veteran to Veteran. My name is Steve Becker. I am your host. I know I've probably never said that to you before, but hey, why not? Today we're going to talk about ratings increases. And before we get started, I keep looking out the window because people are walking down my street. Before we get started, if you don't mind, I'm just going to take a second real quick to tell you about a couple things. So number one, I greatly appreciate the audience. Listen, this thing's grown bigger than I expected it to. I had no expectations of, growing in size and having so many people. And it seems like, minuscule to other channels, but to me, it's a really big deal. So I want to thank all of you, especially subscribers and people who watch my videos. I really appreciate the support. Secondly, I'm going to ask that on each of my videos, if you don't mind to help me get the word out for veterans, you let the video run to the end and then like, share, subscribe, make a comment. I always look forward to comments that are in the that are down below on these videos. Some of them are good, some of them are crazy, some of them may be, fueled when somebody's not completely coherent. But hey, I'll take a comment when I get a comment, right? Quite honestly. Lastly, there is an affiliate link down below if you need help with a Nexus letter, independent medical examination, independent medical opinion. I do potentially get paid off of that, but it's down there. You can get a free consultation before you even have to commit to anything. So use that if you want to. All right, so let's talk about ratings increases today. So let's just talk first about why you would have a ratings increase, right? So you have a knee condition and your knee condition has gotten worse and worse. It's harder for you to walk every day. You've seen your doctor about it multiple times and the doctor has said, hey, it's getting worse, right? We're going to have to try new techniques. We're going to have to try new things to get this, fixed. So, okay, now you think that you have a ratings increase because of the severity of it. PTSD, if your PTSD gets worse, which I have found with a lot of veterans happens over time. I don't know if it's because we age and things just get worse in our heads or the fact that the memories get deeper and deeper and deeper as we get older. But, those things happen. So listen, a ratings increase is great. And I'm going to tell you how to file for one, but then we're going to talk about a few things that may affect it. So let's just jump right in. Number one, how do you file for an increase? Number one, if you think you're going to file for an increase, if you think you're going to file for anything, an intent to file. Right now, stop the video, hit pause, go to va.gov, put an intent to file in. Come back from va.gov and watch the rest of my video, like I said. And then we'll go from there. But your intent to file is going to set your effective date. Put that intent to file in now, gather your evidence after that. You have a year, put that claim in, boom. Okay. All right. So the main form that you use, and this can be found on va.gov, but the form names are important. The form name is a 21526EZ, which is just a regular disability compensation. You want to check the box if you're filing online for an increased claim. Condition has gotten worse or whatever, right? It's an increased claim. What your goal is with that form is tell them you're looking for increased compensation because your rating has gone up. The next step is to gather all of your, before you file that claim, just make sure that that intent to file is out there. Gather all new and relevant evidence that speaks to the condition getting worse. You're already rated. You've already service connected. Now you want to speak to how it's gotten worse over time, right? Poking the bear is something that I think a lot of us say, don't poke the bear. But listen, if I was filing for an increase, and I have done this before, first of all, I would say, hey, for my service-connected X, which was granted to me on blank, right? Which was granted to me in 2022. My condition has grown progressively worse, and this is what I'm looking for. That's what a personal statement for me would look like, right? But gather all your relevant evidence, make sure that you've got it all, updated medical records, DBQs if you have them, personal statement. Like I said, you want to explain in a personal statement why your rating should go up and how it affects your everyday life. That's very important, specifically around work and social, okay? The next thing you want to do, and I will say that some folks out there say that these are not that great for you. Some folks say that they are great for you. I'm going to tell you, it's better to have more than not. Just don't expect it to be the difference maker. Get a buddy statement, right? A buddy statement is not going to make or break your claim, because a buddy statement is not going to be the one thing the rater looks at and goes, oh, well, his buddy said that he's got this, so he must have it. That's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is if it adds and compounds what you are trying to prove, it doesn't hurt, right? So don't expect miracles out of buddy statements, but don't leave them out. I think it's important to have them in there. If they're going to give you an opportunity to have somebody else help your claim, have them help your claim. Next is obviously you file it. Right? You get that completed file, your intent to file, you open up that claim again, you go in, you finish it out, boom, you're done. Then you're going to have your C&P exam. Every time that there's been an increase, except for one of mine, I have had to have a in-person C&P exam. One time, and it was for a specific condition that I was already service connected for. And basically I turned in the same medical records and said, hey, you missed something, even in the higher level review. And I went back and I put that supplemental in, and that became an ACE exam, which is acceptable, medical records, basically. It's a medical records review. That one went through, that was fine. So for the C&P exam, here's what you need to do. You need to get into the 38 CFR. You need to get into the M21 TAC 1. The M21 TAC 1 is going to teach you what the rater is looking for when it comes to signing things. The 38 CFR is going to tell you what you qualify for per rating percentage. You need to know that, because if at 30%, is 15 degrees of movement in your, 45 degrees of movement in your knee, but a 50 or a 70 is like 25 degrees. You need to know that information to know what to expect. Then you need to be ready for the exam. If it's a physical, and if it's musculoskeletal, and if it is range of motion, stop when it hurts. There's no reason to put yourself through excruciating pain just to say, yeah, I'm tough, I can do a full 90 degree. That's not going to help your case, first of all. Second of all, it's not an accurate representation of your condition. If it hurts, if it's painful to move past a certain, degree of flexibility, you got to stop. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I'm not trying to cheat the system, but let's be honest. If it hurts to bend your arm a certain way during your daily life, you try not to bend your arm a certain way. So that's what you're going to prove. So, a lot of people say at your C&P exam, describe your worst day, not your best day. I take a different approach to that. My approach to that is that there are good days and there are bad days, right? But to be fair, over the last 6 months, this, over the last 3 months, this, or over the last, however long it's been, 2 years, it's progressively gone from 2 years ago, I could go out and, walk 2.5 miles. And then last year I was only able to go walk a mile, and I didn't understand why. And then this year I haven't been able to really go out and walk because I can't bend my knee far enough, etc. You get what I'm saying here. You need to, don't say on my worst day, I can't get out of my bed and I look like a peg leg and I'm walking around, with basically looking like I have a cast on my leg. That's all good and well. And the C&P examiner may take that into consideration, but then you need to go in and say, okay, well, on my worst day, I can barely bend my knee. But on the average over the last 6 months, it has gotten progressively worse, and here's why. And go back to the walking. 2 miles, 1 mile. Now I can't even go a quarter mile. That type of stuff is going to hold more weight for you. So the critical mistakes out there. Well, first of all, before we get to the critical mistakes, there is temporary TDIU or total TDIU based on how bad it is. I've got another video that's about that. We won't go into that, but that option is out there as well. Critical mistakes that people make when they're doing increases. The reduction risk, it's out there. Sorry, it is out there. And I think right now, based on some other content creators out there that I listen to and that I respect, there's some swirling words going around at the VA that thanks to this Pennsylvania thing that happened, and if you don't know what that is, there was a Pennsylvania rater out there that actually just started blanket check marking. Yep, going to give you this, going to give you this, going to give you this, going to give you this. Now, I would suspect, being in a business that looks for accuracy and quality, I would suspect that the VA is turning around and saying, well, we're just going to look at absolutely everything when somebody turns in a claim now. And so they may be going back and saying, did we rate you correctly for this condition or for other conditions when you open a new claim? So be careful, because a rate increase is a new claim. It's an increased claim, but it's a claim, right? It hits the rater's desk. Your file hits the rater's desk, for lack of a better term, because I don't think we really use paper files anymore. Make sure that you're only filing for your increase if, and only if, you know it's gotten worse and you've done your homework for, does this push you up to the next percentage? What does it take to get to that percentage? And do you fit that criteria? Can you prove it, right? That's when you want to file that increase. Next, insufficient or vague medical evidence. If you don't have enough medical evidence, go get it. I'm going to leave it right there. You can have a current diagnosis. You can say, I've done some flexion testing. I've done this, I've done that. Listen, if you don't have the medical evidence, don't file the claim. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to work out well for you. Get the medical evidence, get it documented somewhere that it's gotten worse over time, etc. That is going to help you more than anything else when you get that from a medical professional, right? And then obviously, understand your symptoms. Again, I'm going to go back to this. If you're trying to act tough, get over yourself, please. Just be real about your condition, quite honestly. Maybe you are 100% eligible. Maybe you're 70% eligible. Maybe you're 50 or 30 or, less eligible for things. Just be honest with yourself and be honest with the VA about it, quite honestly. Get what you're rated, get what you're accurately qualified to hit rating-wise, and move forward. The biggest risk that you have is that reduction, okay? Because if they go, oh, well, we see that you got to 70 at one point, but you know what? I'm going to look down here at the 38 CFR, and I'm going to look over here at the 21 TAC 1, and I'm going to look at everything I can. Oh, it looks like you only fit the 30% category now. You do run that risk. Do your homework before you file for that increase. All right, listen, again, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. Take care of one another. See ya.